AITA for telling my girlfriend that being depressed is not an excuse for being lazy. I am not the original poster. The original post by you, throwaway advice 236 in r, am I the asshole? Reminder: do not comment on linked posts. Trigger warnings. Depression. Mental health struggles. Less than. Mood spoilers. Relationship strain. Emotional turmoil. Eventual improvement. Less than. An NBSP. AITA for telling my girlfriend that being depressed is not an excuse for being lazy. Mon. July 20th, 2020. I, 29, have always supported my girlfriend, 23. We have been together for 4 years now, and lived together for 1. She has always had anxiety, as well as depression, where some months are worse than others. I have supported her through all of this, and understand it is very hard for her. In January she lost her job due to the current world circumstances. By March she hit a low point with not eating as much, crying, irritability, typical traits of depression. I have comforted her as much as possible, and taken care of everything. However, at the beginning of June I was allowed back to work, and since the house has fallen to shambles, I am too tired by the time I come home to do anything, even cook. Most nights we order takeout, and on the rare occasion she makes food. The floors aren't being washed, hoovering isn't being done, laundry is a mountain, and dishes are everywhere. I try keep on top of it, but with work it is almost impossible. She is home all day. She lies in bed till late afternoon, watches Netflix, eats bowls of cereal, and naps. That's about it. I've tried to gently coax her to do more, and she says she will get to it but never does. I finally snapped, told her I was sick of her doing nothing all day and leaving the housework to me. That if she is here and I am working, she needs to be pulling her weight. She got upset, and said that she wants to but she can never find the motivation. That she is tired all the time. I said I understood she was depressed, but it isn't an excuse to do nothing and be lazy. No one likes housework, but I won't take any more excuses about it. She needs to start doing it or leave. Next day I come home to a clean house and a note from her saying she was sorry, and is going to stay with her mother. Her mom helped her clean before they left. I tried calling but she wouldn't pick up. When I rang the house, her mother answered and had a lot to say. She was furious, telling me about how she is struggling and I am making her worse. That I should be supporting her, not ignoring that she is in a bad place, and so on. I was told my GF had been crying all day in her bedroom, and I feel awful. I never wanted to hurt her. I just snapped. I tried to get her mother to give my GF the phone but she wouldn't speak to me. It feels like a lose-lose situation. On one hand I know depression results in lack of motivation and cleanliness, and on the other I can't stand to see our home in such chaos. I've never had depression so I can't say for sure how bad it truly is. That's why I find it more difficult to 100% empathize. AITA for telling her depression isn't an excuse? Judgment, no a-holes here. Extra info. She has a therapist and talks regularly with them. Her depression is worse since losing her job. Usually she is quite clean and tidy. We don't usually have this issue. She is looking for a job despite depression, etc. I have enough money to support us both in the meantime. Advice for Oop in the comments. Opposite sock coming out of lurker mode for this one. Gentle YTA. I'm sure you mean well, but depression is hard to understand and can be all-consuming for those experiencing it. When I'm in a bad depressive episode, it can be hard to just get out of bed to brush my teeth because even that feels overwhelming. If there are 5 things to clean, I can't figure out where to start and feel like I'll fail if I don't do everything, so nothing gets done. It's awful and feels very shameful and lonely. Now she is probably feeling judged by you and doubling down on that horrible internal shame. It's easier to keep up with tasks than to tackle everything at once. Mess feeds depression. Maybe you could try cleaning together. Having a tidier space will help her have a clearer mind and keep up with it better. That's my experience anyway, and I fully support gently encouraging her to talk to a medical doctor, preferably a psychiatrist, about medication. Talk therapy alone doesn't do it for some people, myself included. It sounds like her therapist isn't great, but switching therapist can be really daunting and traumatic. So if she trusts them, it might not be the best first move right now. For you, I highly suggest reading some Ali Brosh. She has some of the most real and relatable writing on depression. Start with Depression Part 2. I've sent this to many people as a way to understand a bit of what it is like. It sounds like you want what's best for her, but try to educate yourself on what depression really feels like, not just how you can fix her. I hope she finds her shriveled piece of corn soon. An NBSP update. AITA for telling my girlfriend that being depressed is not an excuse for being lazy. Sat. August 29, 2020. Ultimately, I realized that the majority of the blame was mine. I never ever should have called her lazy because that isn't what she is. I lashed out and I shouldn't have. She stayed at her mother's for a few days, and we eventually met up to talk. I told her how it just got too much for me, but it was no excuse for lashing out, and I apologized. She apologized also, not that she needed to, and we talked for a long while about how we can make our relationship work. I expressed my concerns over her therapist, who is very against anything other than talking therapy. She agreed that he didn't seem to really have her best interests at heart, and she is currently looking for someone new. For now, I suggested she stops looking for work. She got a lot of rejections and I could see it was upsetting her more. I just felt we should take a step back from that, and I want her to focus a little more on herself. She was unsure as she felt bad that I would be working for both of us. But I assured her it is fine. I make enough to support us both quite comfortably. I also suggested maybe she could volunteer at some point just to get her out and get some more stuff on her resume. I'm no therapist, so these were just suggestions. But it has seemed to have taken some of the pressure off her, which is all I wanted. We agreed that being in the apartment all day alone and in bed is not good for her. So, we came up with a plan that she do an exercise video 3 times a week. It's only a 10-minute one, just so she is doing something. She has found she likes doing them. They make her feel a bit better after. And has started something called Yin Yoga now too. To help me. She has 1 chore a day to do. I don't care what it is. It could be dishes or it could just be putting the laundry in the hamper. This rule has at least gotten her out of bed for part of the day, and she's found that once she starts, she sometimes ends up doing more than one thing. I make sure to show my appreciation for whatever she has done, no matter how small it was. We have set out that every Sunday we will have a deep cleaning day where we get everything done for the week. This has been surprisingly successful. We make it fun and just mess around while still getting things done. It makes the week a lot more manageable when we only have light chores to keep on top of. She is trying more, and I am also working on being more supportive about her depression. I'm researching it more and learning ways I can help her because it is a part of her. We are both putting more effort in and communicating a lot better. I hope we keep making progress because I do love her very much and want us to work. An NBSP reminder: I am not the original poster. Per usual, the real asshole is depression. Fuck depression. It sucks. I went through talk therapy for several years, and I certainly think it is a basic foundation you need before considering antidepressants. But after a really bad depressive episode, my then fiance suggested I see a psychiatrist who could prescribe antidepressants. And honestly, I didn't know that talk therapists couldn't prescribe antidepressants. Grimace. I figured if I ever got really bad, like I had, they would know when to bring up medication. Also, the mini action plan Oop made with his girlfriend is very motivating for me. Even now, I think I'm going to use some of these to be more active in my home life. People need to realize therapists can and should be changed if they aren't working. Obviously, you can't expect miracles and demand to see change by session 2. But after so many months and a therapist that's insistent the GF do nothing, that's not working. GF is lucky Oop decided to stick by her. Yes, it is the depression's fault. But that doesn't mean Oop is obligated to shoulder everything on his own. Oop would have been right to quit to protect his own well-being. I hope GF realizes how good she has it and appreciates him more. I've been where the GF is and it's so hard. Especially when you add the feeling of you're failing your partner when they're obviously trying so hard to help you. Good on the both of them for stepping up to find solutions instead of just band-aids. Depression is hard for the person depressed to handle. It's also hard for someone who's never experienced it to know how deeply it can impact someone. Mental illness affects not just the person with it but also those around them. It's hard to see the other person's perspective when you're in the midst of it. Communication is key always. Communication saves the day. Also, it's good to switch therapists. I think some people get too attached, comfortable with one, and it's best to try not to if you realize they aren't actually helping you. Getting constantly rejected while job searching worsens my depression. Glad Oop and his GF found middle ground and are working together again. Edit fixed autocorrect. To help me, she has one chore a day to do. I don't care what it is. Ever since I've read about this strategy, it has stuck in my brain. Just try to do something towards your goal. Anything. No matter how tiny. Take the clothes off the floor and into the basket. Put on your running shoes. Open your textbook at your desk. Congratulations. You've had a successful day. If you feel like doing more, great. If not, that's fine, too. Try to do a bit more tomorrow. We expect too much from partners of people with depression. The partner isn't usually qualified to handle it, and there is very little support for both the depressed person and the partner. It's great Op is being so supportive in the update. IDK if I could handle this though personally. Paying for everything and managing a household by yourself for 2 people. I couldn't. More work needs to be put in to help herself. I don't think she's in the right mental state for a relationship. God. No one describes mental illness like Ali Brosh. Her writing and those stupid MS Paint drawings just get it. While the relationship does sound exhausting for Oop, it's weird he chose a 19-year-old depressed girl for GF as a 25-year-old man. This reminds me of me before ADHD meds. For 7 years I did talk therapy, mindfulness, exercise, and I did try antidepressants, but it seemed like I never got 100% out of the depressive funk. Although these things did help a lot, I would be productive for a week or 2 but always fall back to being lazy. The pandemic made it 100x worse as I lost the access to the gym and mindfulness classes, as well as being social. Live in Canada, and we had strict measures. Finally saw an ADHD psych 7 months ago and got on Vyvanse and actually have energy for the first time in a long time. Can start and complete tasks much better. Reduced substance abuse. Depression and anxiety reduced by 95%. All from the medication. Finally have stability in my mood, energy, and emotions. This woman is actually very lucky to be with someone like Oop. But I wonder how their dynamic is as a couple. She is literally living rent-free with one chore to do a day. Personally, I would not stay with someone like that. She needs severe help, not a father figure, boyfriend. NTA, I don't know if I would have been able to handle GF's mother's criticism. Dude is literally doing the job of two people, providing the sole income and doing all the house chores. Depression seems to facilitate adult infantilization. Mom should have stepped into the picture sooner if she wanted to cast judgment. No way you're gonna sit around and eat cereal and nap all day and get me to treat you like a baby. Hang up work buddy to do the things with is so helpful. It's hard to get started on your own, and it really is easier to keep it clean. Projects can get too big and overwhelming. Probably get downvoted, but I do get depressions suck and it's hard. Personal experience. But at a certain point it's not okay to make someone else's mental health worse with it. I hope the system works, but I can also see OP being at a breaking point if it doesn't get better. Okay, so what the hell do people with this level of depression do when they have no partner to support them? I've been reading through this like, wow. Lying in a bed all day, with no energy to do anything, and this is while on therapy? This is wired. And of course it turns out that her therapist was against meds. Ah yeah. Let's push through a heavy depressive episode with only magic talk. TM. It will surely help you get that serotonin. I cannot express how much I hate anti-medication therapists. It's great that OP is supporting her and all, but I have a feeling he's going to either burn out or get super resentful very soon.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.